So we're gonna start off with these 35s, and oh, okay. While I still have your guys' interest, I suppose, I picked out from the hat here exactly this one singular roll that's all keyboards. And then everything after will be concerts and other personal photos. So congratulations. Real quick before I proceed, gotta take care of a few administrative things here. Thanks for tuning in, by the way, guys. Appreciate. Alright. Yo! Hey, yo, spring roll! What's going on? Okay, let's take a look and see how we're doing here. What the H? Alright, I gotta move. Look at these. Crazy. It looks like balls. They're like massage balls. What up? Alright. We are currently on the autofocus mode. Okay, so that should be good. Alright, let me change. Should I stay? Would you count this as makers and crafting? Is this makers and crafting? Oh, Ada's here, guys. Ada's back. Develop settings. Seems makery to me. So it's like, there's a problem with photography on Twitch, I think. It's that there's no photography category. There's a category called photographs, which apparently is the name of a video game. There's also art, and then there's also just chatting. But if we're doing like photo film scans, like what among these like 4 different categories would you put it under? Sometimes I do just chatting. Okay, what is this? This is Portrait 800. Let's just pick 7.1. I guess we'll go with this one for now. Art. You'd do this under art. Alright, sometimes it's always like that first one that just takes absurdly long to like come in. There we go. Alright, the color's not at all correct. Let's just, for the hell of it, let's go do our thing. So what I've been doing is I pull the contrast down like 100, like the most you possibly can. And then I'll even boost this up, the exposure here. And at this point now, I'll run the negative lab inversions. And hopefully this will get us to where we want this to be, but who really knows? All right, would you change this to art? Should I do? I'll do art. Okay. Moderately more accurate. That's kind of actually somewhat better-ish. And I might even pull the contrast down even post-inversion. So those are the blacks. This is my Philco with the SA double shots. All right, so I might just go and save this preset. So I'll call this F, what is it? 35mm Portra 800, F 7.1, 160, 100. Is that the order we usually do? I think so. Yeah. All right, and then I will stick this on as part of the user presets. If I look for it here, F35. Was it this? Bruh. What the? I swear I saved it. Dude, it's like gone. Okay, let me, do I have too much? Maybe I'll just delete this untitled preset and try it again. Okay, F, what do we call it? 35, Portra 800, 7.1. Also, oh, maybe did I do it like in a really weird order? No. F71, 160, 100. I'll just put a bunch of nonsense after. Oh my goodness. Starfy with the big O raid! Oh my goodness, 120, that's huge! Punk Shoe Sonus, Starfy, welcome. Keeb Noob, Allowed Brother, welcome. Akigami, welcome back. Alexa, play Careless Whisper. Welcome. Hello guys. Welcome and thank you. We are doing some photo film scans, and we luckily, right on time, with what I presume is a big keyboard community in here tonight, pulled out the one singular roll that has all keyboard photos. So, welcome. We just did a bunch of keyboard chores right before this, if you can call them chores. They aren't the typical chores, but we did a bunch. Alexa, play Careless Whisper. Thank you for the follow. Starf says raid Amaranth. Cool Deathmat, where's it from? This is from Bolsa. This is one of those... fuck, I forgot what they're called. I actually use this as a beater mat because I kind of ruined it in a bunch of ways. Mad Asian, welcome. You shoot on film? I shoot on film. Yeah, we got some 35 and some 120 to go through today. I'm trying to save this preset, but I'm having trouble locating where the heck they're getting saved to. I got too many presets. All right, whatever. Let's just stick with this, and I can just hit the previous button, I guess. Irizumi, that's what it's called. Starvey, what were you up to? Hope your stream went well. All right, let me also shift this a tiny bit. Okay. Sold out right now. Yeah, they run multiple rounds of this, and they're always like different designs, and they're always crazy. I love how crazy they are. I love and hate how crazy desk mats can be. I love how when they're crazy looking, it's easy to hide dirt. But I hate when they're crazy looking and then you lose screws and tiny shit really easily. I rebuilt my iron to use the new cream soda switches in group buy right now, and some spring swap hella tactiles in a QK. Ooh. Nice, I'll try to snag one in the next drop, if any. Know a friend who would love to. Yeah, I would hope so, because I feel like there was at least 2 or 3 rounds of, like, different designs. They're always, like, really cool. Okay, sorry, so we'll continue along with the scans. Alright, color is looking good, I think. I love crazy desk mats, but I definitely just, yeah, seriously. Always, like, the tiniest screws, or just, like, I don't know, yeah. But it's good. It's good when you, like, spill your, I don't know, greasy leftovers. It's like, okay, I can't see it. That's my HHKB Pro 2. This is the Litster that we put. This was the one that, oh, that crop is. Oh, no. Oh, shit. Anyone enter the TGR Jane purchase raffle? Is it already over? I would have been down, but, you know, if it's over, then I guess not. Ooh, okay. So, okay, anyways, I'll talk through these photos here, so that way it's a little more interactive from anyone who came in the bigger raid. By the way, guys, I don't know, for anyone who hasn't tuned in, I had a subathon last weekend, and, I had some giveaways, and I appreciate those of you who tuned in, but if you didn't tune in, it's okay, because I actually have one more giveaway today, and we're going to be giving away, if you're subbed to this channel, I have the Kawaii Drake emote, but I also now have it in sticker form. So if you guys would like to stay through the end today here, which is going to be either after I finish these 7 or 8 rolls, or before I hit the 6-hour mark, whichever one comes first, you could have your chance in joining a Marbles Race giveaway for this Kawaii Drake sticker. If you're not already subbed, feel free, drop your sub for the 10 best emotes on Twitch. Word on the street is that if you have Amazon Prime, you can link your account to your Twitch, and you might be able to just get your sub in for free without paying any money. I think it's on the 26th. Okay, so TGR Jane raffle. I'm not even like a TKL guy, but that seems like an interesting board to enter into, especially if you block out all the keys that'll let you have an HHKB layout. Okay, so this is the Litster. This is the first, as far as I know, the first known stacked acrylic keyboard in North America, and we were doing a rebuild of this. I had this, I think, ever since back in 2014 or so, but this had existed for years prior. We did a rebuild of this in May, and a bunch of folks came over. Kiwi helped do this build, and then I was trying to figure out, because it's like a specific type of PCB, like I was wondering how I should sort of handle it, because the connector is internal. So I just decided to put this Limo and like the device side end into this, so it's just like I can't use this without deconstructing it. So okay, Thought Thumbs, I have a 35mm SLR. I can use it to take me Keebs photos, then digitize the film rolls. What happens to the grain when you digitize? Do you see a benefit there? Because my SLR is the best lens I have. I was just talking about this earlier. I shoot film regularly. I shoot film for all of my keyboard photos that are on my website and my Instagram. I shoot film when I shoot concerts, and I shoot film when I take my cameras just around wherever I go. I love it. You can shoot anything you would like. To be truthful, I did also make this disclaimer that I think, you know, there is a film, like a culture around film that kind of pervades social media, that I think is there because they like the way it looks. But I think there's also the reality that film photography is just digital photography with more steps. So there's that. It's up to you, Thought Thumbs, though. And welcome back, by the way. when you ask what happens to the grain when you digitize, so I'm using a DSLR to actually run scans, and like if you go in at 100%, you can see the grain. Now, do you like the grain? It depends. What is it you'd like to do? Sometimes I like cropping in super close so you can see it look really grainy and it looks like out of a book at your elementary school library. On the other hand, if you zoom all the way out, it still looks like a good photo. It's just the representation of the colors and how they relate, how things cross over. That's going to be a little bit different from, say, you know, whatever settings you're having pop out of your digital camera. So, gonna have to go and get some sleep. Have a good stream. Hey, Akigami, appreciate you coming by. Hope you have a good night. Just double checked, it is on the 26th. I don't see the interest in Jane remakes. Well, you have an issue with Jane remakes? What's wrong with the Jane remakes? All right, this is our Quarky Z60 with Greg on it. The Quarky Z60, a very frustrating build for many reasons. If you guys would like me to list them out, it is one is that the the alu press bars that were supposed to come with this this ruby red keyboard came in a little bit scuffed. I did buy some brass press bars, which I guess is good as a replacement, you know, because they are nice. The design of it looks kind of funny, I gotta say, with the brass and the red, the way it's kind of structured there. But the thing that frustrated me the most was the gasket situation, because I hate when keyboard designers do these pour-on gasket builds and then they have a little lip to like perfectly shape how the pour-on gasket's supposed to sit, which means you need to be extra precise in trying to press fit the pour-on into that small, like perfectly sized channel. I hate when they do that. They should always just get rid of one of those lips, like the front lip of wherever you're trying to place the pour-on gaskets. This one did that stupid lip thing. So really annoying. So I just thought, given how much I did not enjoy the parts that had to do with this build, might as well throw the stupid ass key set on it. I think I'm gonna give shooting a go. It feels, it has such a nice feeling compared to my smartphone. My 35mm full manual, no auto anything. Nice. What camera is it? Just if you know off the top of your head. All right, we might have to redo some of these colors a little bit later, and that's totally fine. We did one preset thing a little bit earlier on the first frame here. If you guys wanted to see them, this is a Philco with a custom plate and the spherical SA double shots that are like a really dark brown. And then this is a Pro 2 with some KBD fans, 9009 Topiary keycaps. Got to jet and get some rest. Y'all have a good night. Have a great stream. Punkshu, thanks so much for dropping by. Appreciate it. FM10 by Nikon. Right on. Nice. I use an F6. The F6 is awesome. I think it's like the best 35mm SLR out there. I think. I'm sure there are others. It's really almost like one of just a few that I've ever used, so I'll be honest there. Matt Asian, again, welcome. Did you know that the FM10 was never made by Nikon? Oh, that's a fun fact. I did not know that. What's the story there? I'm guessing it's just like they just put their name on another camera. FM10 is pretty dope though. I'd like to have one. I see. All right, what is this guy? I believe... Oh. What the heck? This is a little funny looking. The colors aren't reproduced here well at all, I don't think. This is my Gasket 00. It's a gray case that in real life looks a slight bit green, which is really interesting. And the keycaps are GMK Alpine, which are a slight bit purple. But none of that translated here on this preset. So we might want to mess with the colors on this a little bit later. Rebranded camera. I see. All right, this is our midway. I changed the keycaps just a little bit prior to taking this shot. I took the super keys from GMK Classic Red because they only had 1 unit control keys. They didn't have any super keys on that RGB kit, the extension or the RGB included or add-on kit. This is GMK Think Caps. GMK Think Caps. Cosina. Huh? That's a fun fact. Okay, just regarding these last 2 boards that I just shot. This is the Midway in Obsidian. It's the Midway LE. And then that previous one here is the Gasket 00. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like the way that the Midway feels, personally. I think that there's some keyboards whose flex just feel kind of weird to me. And I think a lot of people like the Midway. It's got this jitter. Like, I don't know if you guys know anything that I'm talking about. Personally, for me, I come across these boards that have flex, and then sometimes I feel a jitter. The Sangyo had it, this Midway had it, and there was one other one, and they all had like 3 different mounts. And I gotta figure out what that third one was. I forget sometimes. But it's this damn jitter. The gasket, I liked how this felt a little bit more, and it's like a little bit more compact. I feel like things were thinned out on this board compared to some others. One downside is that there's no cutouts, like there's no engravings on the bottom for like placing bump-ons. So I'm like, I don't really trust myself to just throw a bump-on the bottom of this. So I just leave it around, like I leave it with no bump-ons on it and just slides around my desk mat. Kind of annoying. Not gonna lie. Okay. Moving right along here. This right here is this KMAC Happy, actually. This one that you're looking at on the overhead right here to the left of your screen. We've talked about it in full detail earlier in the stream. Pretty scuffed keyboard for many reasons. Overall, I like it, but I will need to at least perform some work to get this C switch working pretty normally. Cosina made a really good camera. I used to shoot with it a ton and develop the film myself. Nice. Cosina's solid. I took it backpacking, camping, living in the woods. It held up still like new. Nice. That's cool. Okay. So next up is, I think this is the Alopow. No, it's not. Am I crazy? What is this? Yeah, this is the Alopow. This is the Alopow resin tray case that we put a plateless build on with Geek Arc Monohanger. So pretty nifty. I actually really like how the set turned out, to be perfectly honest. You know what my favorite thing about the set was, Frank? Was that they put this guy in on the tray with the alphas. It's like my heart just melted when I saw that. Cause like all like GMK, everything, they always put this like on the second tray. But my heart melted when I saw this on the first tray. The top row, 1 unit pipe key. Okay. It's the little things. It's the little things. 100%. All right, the Hello M0110. If you guys haven't already seen, I have my one and only keyboard YouTube video type test on my channel. There you go. Exclamation YouTube for that. My only type test video is up there. More to come. More type tests, more other content. Talking about keyboards. Talking about other things that even aren't keyboards. It's just in the plans, in the works. But yeah. There you go. That's this board. A whole story if you watch the video. It's not even that new of a video anymore, is it? But if you watch the video, if you turn closed caption on, closed captioning, like there's a whole story there. Feel free. Rocking a Rolleiflex right now. Mine doesn't have a light meter. Ah. Yeah, man, that's nuts. It's like I always just use the in-camera light meters for like all my cameras, and I think at least some of them are messed up. Like, as an example, I have a Contax T2 and a Contax T3, and I swear, like, I think the light meters on both of them are just off. Like, it's just like constantly overexposing. So what's cool is that there's these like exposure compensation dials. So I just put it like to like the lower settings all the time. But I kind of want to just get a light meter. I feel like I've been way overdue to just own one. All right, guys, this is... Oh, Frank, here's another one. I don't know, Frank, if you're still there. I got this all brass keyboard. This is a brass PP60 keyboard that was put together by this fella, this designer named Bowl. I just recently learned about this fella, Bowl. He makes some cool-ass, like, low-key keyboards. And this, the PP60 was based off of the anime Code Geass, which I had never even heard of Code Geass before I heard about this board. So, you know, I feel like I have no weeb pass. The reason I have this board, someone was reselling it because he had two, and the only reason he bought literally the only all brass unit was because it had the weight that he wanted. The super weeb weight. So he traded his weight that had nothing on it except nothing on this side, and the other side there's a paper plane. And I'm the beneficiary of an all brass board. So I'm wondering, Mr. Frank, if you're still out there, should I copy your all gold keyboard? Because I do have the Beside Studio gold metal keycaps. And I'm wondering how bad you would hate me if I were to buy some of those gold switches. Say weeb weight 5 times fast. Nah, I can't do that. Not sure how this is based on it, but all brass sounds cool. The weights. I think there was a weight that had a character on it on the internal side. And then on the other side, like the outer bottom side, there was like a logo from Code Geass. Yeah, I had no idea what Code Geass was before I found this keyboard. I had to look up YouTube videos to see how people pronounced it, and I hope that I'm getting it right. But I have the plain weight because the guy who traded his in. I bought it on the aftermarket. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, there we go. All right, this is a Pro 2 that I bought recently that my intent is to use for harvesting the PCB and stabilizers from. And I guess domes and whatever else. So this is different from my white Pro 2. This is the one that I've had for almost 10 years. This one I just bought really recently, but they both feel very nice. All right, this is the Blade 60, which I think was by KBD fans, I believe. Is there anything interesting about it? I mean, it's a tray board. It came with those, like some of the more recent KBD fans tray offerings have the standoffs be detachable. And then even when you do attach them, they have these like pour-on O-ring landing pads for the standoffs. So it's a little softer, a tiny tad bit softer when you're actually going and mounting it on. About that case, that's pretty much all that's interesting about it. It's got a funny like asymmetrical shape too. About the build, this is linearized black Alps on a palm plate. Holy shit, there's a giant moth in here. If this moth doesn't leave, it will probably die, and I probably won't know for a long time. I recently found a very, very dead moth in a corner of my apartment. Uh, just maybe like last week. And that was kind of gross. I need to get like a screen, but I need to... I don't... I need to get a screen. Okay. Next up. What do we got here? Oh, this is my Duck Viper V3 with metal keyboards.no keycaps. So they're all alu caps. Yeah, they're nice. They're nice. I hate the homing indicators. They're like indented instead of raised. Like they're concave. I don't like how they look, but other than that, also the caps are OEM profile, which I think some people are often turned off by, but I like it. I like typing on it. It works and it feels good. It's got an interesting build in there. Stainless steel half plate. Like, why does that exist? Really? Like, why? But I put in those Franken-switched. Did I? Like a U4. It's either the U4Ts or some U4T Franken-switch in here. So it's a nice build in terms of this combo. The stainless steel half, which again is weird. The keycaps, the switches, it's all good. This one's kind of crooked. I can already see it. Oxymoron plate, yeah, for sure. Like, why? Really, why? All right, what is this guy? I believe this is a stupidly simple tray mount board, like a $14 plastic case. That's like, it's kind of like translucent. They call it like an ink case. I believe it's an alu plate. It's got a very expensive, stupidly dumb Franken switch in there. And then this is running Black Palm OEM keycaps. Blanks. We're gonna need to modify the colors on this one for sure. It's pretty underexposed here. There's probably some stuff we can possibly do to address that. Good sounding board, that last one. This one right here is the TX60 PC. This has got some Gateron 9009 inks, but this one right here has a key set I hold very dear to my heart. I bought this on the aftermarket, I want to say like 6+ years ago, maybe 7 to 8 years ago. This is I believe it's from Originative. It's black on white with these red Cyrillic sub-legends that are pad printed. But the reason why I like this key set so much is that it's the first GMK set that I'm aware of that had HHKB kitting in full, which includes specifically this guy right here, this top row pipe key, and then this 1.5 unit backspace. All the GMK kits that were being run before and even a bit after that just didn't have this key or this key. It's crazy. And it's just like, it's honestly, I think it's honestly one of the reasons why I left the hobby. Because it's just like, okay, there's like I'm getting so used to like literally my Topre HHKB, and I mean these key sets, while they're cool, they're not doing what I want them to do. So like I gotta say that there's probably an internalized part of me that kind of left the hobby subconsciously for that being one reason. Check out those Windows logo keys. Hell yeah, I love Windows logo keys. I don't even use Windows that much. Like I use Windows to edit photos in Lightroom. And that's like 90% of my Windows usage. I guess I use Windows for my streaming PC, but it's not like I'm like actively using it. I'm streaming. Well, what's going on? But the switches, I mean, they're GAT inks. I don't know. I don't know if I really like GAT inks that much, to be honest. They're like, I don't know what it is. Maybe I think they're too quiet. I don't know. Do you guys get that feeling? Maybe I'm crazy. All right, I believe this is my K. Mono K. And one of the indicators I see, we got these, it's Dolch. But this is like multiple old runs of Dolch. And one of them had this like extensions kit that had these teal legended mod keys for the Windows keys. You can also see how old it is based off of the pentagon house shaped backspace for 1.5U. This was my first time doing a gummy O-ring board, and this was where that realization came in right here, that you need to put in switch bottoms on HHKB gummy O-ring boards on these corners, and then just kind of shave off the tops where the contact leaves are, where the rails are, so that way the O-ring can run all the way fully around. Ooh, okay, this one I thought was really interesting view perspective that I could put together. This is that Infinity keyboard that we were just looking at a little bit earlier. This is the board that Drop ran many years ago that was a bent plate case. And that's one really big interesting part of this. It has a bent plate case. So like sitting on this 2-tier keyboard stand, I was able to just like tip it over so you could kind of like see it. It's kind of an interesting thing. One of the things I forgot to put a keycap here on the escape. This is all Matthias linear switches that have been undampened. But the PCB, that was the first time I'd seen, and I mentioned this earlier, first time I'd seen MX and Alps put on the same PCB. So most of these had those like Alps mounts on these, Matthias Alps clones. But I put an MX switch right there just on that one, which the plate case also accommodated for, so that I could run an Artisan on it. But I pulled the Artisan off and I just forgot to put one back on before I took this picture. I just did an O-ring mount in my Balder 60. It was a bit of a pain. It's like a friction fit situation, right? The thing about that is that like I want to run HHKB, but then it's like, then you would have to have like on these like tray gummy O-ring boards, you have to have that switch bottom exposed, which is kind of goofy looking. Are you not going to tell the story about the bar stool? Oh yeah, I guess I could tell that too. So this plate case was literally a bent plate case, and it was just like a sharp ass edge, just all the way around on these two edges here. So what I was doing for a long time was I found some like I don't know what you call it. I found this like material. It's kind of like a non-slip material that I used to have on here that was just like I can't really put it around the edges. So I had to like tape the material with like packaging tape, and I kept that taped on for like years and years. Meanwhile, around the same time, I bought these bar stools from Amazon. And on these bar stools also were these sharp edges. For some reason, I don't know why they designed these sharp edges on the bottom of these bar stools. So I found these like edge protectors. And I bought them on Amazon, and I had these edge protectors, and I put them on, okay, to fix the problem. I never put it together that I could have just used those same exact edge protectors on this keyboard that I taped on for so long, and I think that tape kind of ruined the finish of the bent plate case. So like these new edge protectors, or the old edge protectors that I figured out how to repurpose because I kept them for so long. Like, I don't know, I was thinking of throwing them away, these edge protectors. But I kept them for so long, and I was like, holy shit, there's a use for them. I put it on. It was kind of a pain to put on, but it worked, and it's good. They mostly cover up some of the damage to the finish that those that the tape did, but some of it still is exposed a little bit. But it's fine. This was not even it's not even like a super nice board. It's just interesting, and I don't know, it's all good. All right. Okay, real quick. Actually, here's another interesting point. So there was a gap. I took a hiatus from the keyboard hobby around 2016 or 2017, and I only came back during the pandemic. Keyword is during. The start of the pandemic, I hadn't returned to the hobby yet. But when I started working from home, I had the situation where it's like, okay, I have my home computer and then I have my work computer. And I have a bunch of keyboards from like 3-4 years ago that I really liked, but like I only ever use my HHKB. So I need to go to my closet and figure out what keyboard do I actually want to run when I'm like using my work machine. And this was the one I chose for a couple months, to be perfectly honest. So I used this for a little while, and that's just something I remember. I was actually dailying this for a long time. I think one of the reasons was because it was a 60% with split backspace, split right shift. Granted, the keycaps on here are super goofy, so that's what it is. Okay, next up. All right, this is a fun one. This was an MX build, super flexy. This was the DZ60 PCB V2 with all the crazy flex cuts, super ridiculous. Meanwhile, we had this, I think this might have been a taskboard plate. And then I think we also have cherry brown switches. So we have this whole brown theme here. I love brown themed keyboards. Like just like when we got these like wood, this is like a cheap-ish wood tray case with an integrated wrist rest from KBD fans. We also recently did that walnut tofu during the subathon that also has the same sort of like cut wood aesthetic because it's like a walnut case with the sharp edges. And then we did like a bamboo plate in that as well with the brown Alps. This got the cherry brown. Really, there really aren't enough brown keyboards. It's crazy, right, Starfy? There was a board that was supposed to run, I think, on Mex & Co. called the Haven 60, which I'm not sure if that relates at all to the Haven 65 that's like I think going around right now, because like I took a brief glance at that board and it didn't look like it was like anywhere close to the same style of design. But anyways, there was this board called the Haven 60 a few months back that was running on Mex & Co. and then it got canceled. And I'm just like, what the fuck? But that had a brown anno finish. And I was just like, holy shit. They had 2 brown anno finishes. One of them was like a tan, like a lighter brown. And then the other one was like a darker brown here. Like what you see here. And they were both like anodized alu 60%. And I thought that was like really cool. But they got canceled. And that's what sucks. Brown keyboards got me bricked. Yeah, so the other thing too here is it's not really showing up super well, and maybe we can try to adjust the colors later, but this is also a brown key set. This is I believe it's from a person named Geek. This is a PPS key set, which is a different material used compared to a lot of other keycap materials like ABS or PBT. This is PPS, which is really interesting because when you shuffle them around in your hands, they clink like metal, but they're plastic. So I just find that really interesting. So this is the whole brown themed board, but the brown just might not show up here. We'll adjust the colors a little bit later after we get through all of this. By the way, guys, I don't know if you guys know, but we're about an hour away from when I would like to finish, and I'm still on roll number 1 out of 7. So I don't think we're gonna finish all these rolls tonight. But this is also the only one that has keyboard stuff on it, so I hope you guys are enjoying as part of the big raid from Starfy and everyone else who was watching prior. So, okay. Next up here, we got the KBD fans, another KBD fans board. This is the D60. I had recently changed these. Okay, we're gonna have to adjust these colors too because this looks very blue. It's a black keyboard with black keycaps. I recently changed these keycaps on these to what is this, Geek Arc Triangle. And I think it's like a pretty cool aesthetic. I think, at least. Alright. I don't know if there's a whole lot to say. Oh, here's another. This is another board. This is one of the first boards I built when I came back into the hobby. I think I built an Alps board. I built a Tofu with Ada. Then I built a Switch Couture Alice. And then I think this was like the 4th board that I built when I returned from the hobby. And there's a gasket mounted board, and I didn't think much of it. I was like, oh, interesting board, gasket mount. It's like a readily available HHKB layout board that I can just get at the time. And I got it, I built it, I thought it was fine. But in retrospect, this also has that stupid ass design pattern where it's a pour-on gasket with the dumb lip that you have to perfectly fit your pour-on gaskets to into that gasket channel. And it's just, I hate when designers do that. It's like, don't do that. I'm gonna start rating keyboards. I'm gonna start making YouTube videos where I rate keyboards. If it's an HHKB, 10 out of 10. Unless it has that gasket lip. 0 out of 10. Or 9.5 out of 10. And if it's not an HHKB, then it's a 0. Chris's crazy cranky rants. Ah, you got that right. All right, this is... Oh yeah, the colors are starting to get super, super crazy here because this is a green keyboard and it is not coming in at all. Let's play around with it. I think it's about time that we... Whoops. That we start messing around with these and see what we can get out of them. Let's go to 1.5 again. I think I had done all of these like shots in progression, and then slowly but surely it's like I would try to change angles, but you know the sun was going down, so you know I'm sure that changes color, so I can't use the same inversion presets, you know, 18 shots ago, because that time span was probably like an hour or so. John Bond, today's spelling bee is kind of hard. This stream is keeping me sane. Wait, spelling bee? What's spelling bee? John Bond, welcome back. Okay, this is not retaining any green at all. Okay, if I go to warm, there it is. Kind of. Barely. New York Times game? Ah, I see. Okay. Do I hit previous? Will it do that? Ah, okay. Okay. Previous, will that... Oh, there it is. Alright, I think I kind of need to go backwards-ish on some of these. So it's like, there's this preset that worked here for the earlier, like, on top of the wood flooring. Was kind of chill. The outdoor ones, I'm not sure, but you can see the time progression here. Ah, shit. Oh, did I lose my previous? No. All right. How do you restore previous? That's what I'm curious about. Sync, check all. Okay, that was a problem. I don't know if that's right. Whatever. Okay. I'm just going to proceed like everything is all right. Okay. So the Trio 60, what story can I tell about this? The first time I had built this board, I believe, was in during the holiday season. I remember because it's a green board and I wanted to put some red switches in it. So I put in some red inks, right? Problem was, it was a situation where the PC plate that it came with, the cutouts, it just didn't work. And I've had this rant, I think, in the past, and I'll briefly go over it. The way your switches fit into a plate rely on two things: the switch and the plate. Very specifically, switches are now sized differently than, say, before, like, all these other manufacturers started doing MX switches. Before it was only Cherry, and Cherry just had a spec. But when everyone started, like, all these manufacturers started producing switches, like, there's all these different specs you could put into them. When people talk about looseness of switches, there's a couple of definitions, but one of them is, like, how your switch fits into a plate and how loose it can be in your plate. So as a result, some manufacturers put together some switches that are a little bit like wider than the 14 by 14 like standard that you need to clip into a switch plate. On the other hand, it's that like the way that you used to accommodate for this, you know, pre multi-manufacturer, was you'd adjust the kerf or the cutout sizing on your plates when you have your plates cut. So it's a weird balancing act, because I don't think like every single person who produces a plate is aware of like the kerf issues that arise from trying to handle or manage different switches. But what is known is that like you can't really use inks like ink switches on plates whose cutouts are a little bit wide and whose plates are also like a softer material without a whole bunch of things like going wrong. Essentially, it'll kind of like shift up and down like in the plate and kind of have this weird crackly noise whenever it does that because of how switches are supposed to clip into these plates. So that was the problem with the first build. So I had to go and rebuild this with, given that I only had one plate, I had to build this with switches that were like tighter, i.e. just like a little bit like shaped a little bigger. So I think this was run with either with the other combo of it was either U4Ts or some U4T Franken switch. That was the difference between this Trio 60 from Percent Studio and the wherever the hell that is, this Duck Viper. One of them has a U4Ts and the other one has a U4T Franken switch. So that's the whole story. Another thing too, actually there's a little more to the story. I was running just like cherry, like OG cherry white on black for a while, where I had the entire top row be like blank relegendables, which is a cool look, I guess. I mean, it's like a lot of people, you know, pissing themselves all over how much they like relegendables, and they even have like whole relegendable group buys. I thought it was like okay. I'm just like used to it because I saw this like sitting on the board for so long. I ended up changing this to GMK Shan Shui. If I am pronouncing that completely wrong, I'm totally aware. So when I put in this numero back, I'm like, this looks weird. Zero, thank you for the hydrate. I've been talking a lot. Anyways, let's move on. Looks weird without having relegibles. Okay. Oh, another thing too. I think this was one of my first, one of my first screwless designs, that Trio 60. Okay, previous, what does that do? This is our LZ CLS SXH second build. This has a Space Cadet 2 blue base. Let me redo this because again, this is not 100% how this really looks with this preset, so we'll go and make these adjustments. Do another reinversion here, and then maybe this previous button will begin working for subsequent ones, hopefully. CLS SXH, I bought this off of Mr. Diego, Mr. Lightning Keyboards. I don't know if I have much more of a story past that. Lightning Keyboards, we all love Lightning Keyboards. He's great. There's no more to the story than that. Sounds like alphabet soup. It absolutely is. LZ CLS SXH. The color isn't really coming out accurately, but that's not to say I don't personally like how this looks. Up to you guys though. I don't know. Not everyone has the same taste. You might hate this, and that's fair. Okay, that looks a little bit more accurate. Pulling this contrast down and then brightening up the darks. I like squares and rectangles. Well, that's nice. All right, let's see real quick. I want to see if we can change these shadows to not look like that. That looks super cyan. Cyan. Alright, whatever. I'm not going to change anything there. Okay, that's like good enough. Alright, and we looked at this guy a little bit earlier. This is our Taupe Ray Falcon. Matrix Falcon Taupe Ray. That's fairly close, but I'm also color deficient and struggle to make brown on a color wheel because it ends up being a weird shade of red. Hey, there's been a whole trend. It's like, you know, this trend has been resurfacing. I think there's a bunch of TikTok people who are talking about how brown is not a color because you don't find it on a color wheel, which I think then prompted like a bunch of YouTube trends to pull up videos on brown, and that's why I ended up watching a video on brown recently. Do you think they'll ever offer the Taupe Ray kit for the Falcon again? Ooh, good question. I don't know the answer to that. What I do know is I don't think that the Taupe Ray kit for the Falcon in retrospect was super strong. That's not to say I don't love that it exists. It's just, in a vacuum, this is not the best Taupe Ray board by any stretch. but I love how this was what appeared to me to be kind of like one of the first forays into custom Taupe Ray in the hobby. And I like that. I like that they did that because it seems like it's paving the way for more custom Taupe Ray to come out. And you guys can see it right away. There's been a Matrix TKL that had a Taupe Ray kit. I think there was just a Taupe Ray Alice that was run. And we're going to start seeing more and more of these. And I love it. I love what's happening here. You should really watch the 3 VODs of me building the board on YouTube. Yeah, they are. Check out my VOD channel too if you guys want to see. I'm slowly one by one posting the different parts to my subathon. So part 2 just went up last night. After this, I'm going to post part 3, which is the K-Mac Happy build with those Nixies. I'm debating whether or not it makes sense for me to post the last part of the subathon, part 8, which is going to be that very, very strange giveaway. For those of you who were there, you might understand why that was so strange. Yeah, it's definitely on the color wheel, just a pain to get 100% perfect. Okay. Yeah, this is the Matrix Falcon. We were looking at this earlier today, but as you guys had seen, I had some issues with like the enter key binding like half the time, and then this shift key binding like 0.5% of the time. Just sometimes happens. R.I.P. Chalupa. Yeah, that's a whole thing. That was a whole thing. Norbauer told me he's considering making his own custom EC boards instead of aftermarket Taupe Ray housing. John Bond, that's what I've heard too. In fact, what I'd heard was I saw him in the distance at the NorCal meetup, and what I heard after the fact, because I didn't go up and talk to him, but I heard after the fact is that he was going around people he was talking to, showing off, like, he was showing off a new Switch that he's trying to produce. So, that's what I'd heard. I hope that's not anything that I'm leaking. I mean, he was going around showing people this apparently, but that's what I've heard. Such a load of shenanigans. I hear it. I'm late. Still out of welcome. Welcome in. Yeah, we still got like less than an hour-ish left of stream. Neon colors are not on the color wheel and cannot be created by mixing colors. Does that make them not colors? Shaking my head. Okay, bedtime for me. Hey, Starfy, thanks so much for that big old raid. I appreciate it. I hope this doesn't take all night. No, we're not gonna get through all 7 rolls. hopefully we get through one roll. So appreciate it again. Hope you take care and have a good night. He said he's still prototyping the Switch before looking into designing the board. Makes sense. Makes sense 100%. Okay. My first MX version of this, real good. I have a second MX like assembly pair between a PCB and a plate. I also have the Alps assembly as well. The Alps PCB and plate, and that's, stay tuned there. I have all these builds for it, and I'm just like, this is too many builds for one board, to be honest. Okay. All right, what is... Oh, the J02. The J02, where I have really ugly patina the brass pen rail. But J02, one of my favorite designs overall, actually. I like it better than the Vector, considering that the Vector doesn't come in HHKB. I like the pen rail. I like that the pen rail is a different color. I think that the just the basic shape, like just everything about like the shape of this board is really nice. Building it was really weird though with that like triple gasket system. I don't know that I'm gonna say I was a big fan of how the build worked, but great board. 10 out of 10. HHKB. Aha, I know what this one is. Another build we've done recently. This is the Honeyboard HB60, and as I mentioned on that previous stream when I was building it, I have no clue how people aren't like crazy about this board. This is one of the coolest boards that I own, I think. Like, I don't want to say it's the best board, but it is a really, really damn good board. I think there's this reality that like some people might look into the specs of it, see that it's like a sandwich mount board, and might just like dismiss it. But I gotta tell you guys, one of the coolest boards I've literally like visually seen on the design. One of the best sounding boards that I own. Like, I think it's so great. I'm telling you guys. So for those of you guys who don't know, this is the Honeyboard HB60 by MTB Keys. I think they're based out of British Columbia in Canada. It's called the Honeyboard, and when you look at the design, the bottom of the case and also the internals, like the inside of the bottom case, there's this honeycomb pattern, and it looks really cool. And I don't know what it is. I think maybe it could be that pattern, but the board sounds really good, and I'm thinking maybe all of those like hexagons in there, just they might be bouncing around the sound in a really nice, interesting way. I really, really like it. It looks like a low typing angle. Been looking for something like that. I don't know if it is. I think it might just be the angle I shot this at. I'll be honest. I don't know that this is a really low typing angle. When I think of low typing angles, I'm not gonna lie. I have to go and measure them. I've never measured a typing angle in my life, but when I think of low typing angles, I think that the Gasket 00 might have a pretty low one, I think. But in terms of other low front heights, I don't know, or low angles, I'm not really sure. But this is just like my random guess, is that the Gasket 00 is probably one of the ones that would fit the build. It's just a matter of getting one, which is probably going to be a little challenging. Back to the Honeyboard. This one's like an Aztec teal Cerakote. That's another thing too, is that you could just buy these and they're Cerakoted. I mean, I guess Cerakoting, buying keyboard Cerakote is not super uncommon, but this was the first time that I'd seen it. So again, another cool thing, and it came in teal, which is like, you know, one of my favorite colors. So I used to run GMK Finer Things on this, but this time around we decided to keep the Finer Things alphas. We decided to keep the Finer Things alphas, but we put Peach Blossom, GMK Peach Blossom mods. The color isn't really setting in super well, but you know, they haven't been. We could always change these a little bit later. So yeah, it's not really a blue. I apologize for this. So let's try. Because you mentioned that you think the blue is gorgeous, I think I have to. I am now motivated to show you what the color actually might more accurately be represented by. So let's give it a shot and try to do another reinversion here, just because I don't want to mislead you with you know, the your proposed gorgeousness, or your thought of it being gorgeous, of a blue. So let's see if we can correct this and see if we can get this a little bit more accurate. Warm, kind of. It's just really dark and underexposed. I think that's one of the problems here with it. Pull the exposure up and the darks. Yeah, it's pretty dark. Pretty underexposed. I thought I was, I don't know, I would have guessed that I nailed the exposure here, but it was actually really quite underexposed, unfortunately. And yeah, the way the shadow's hitting, it's more accurate to what you see on the side here and how the sun hits it, or the light hits it. The rest of this, the shadow is really harsh. So not gonna say that this is my best shot I've ever put together, but none of these are my best shots. I was trying to do quick and dirty shots here so I could just put these up on my website because I have a bunch of photos that are out of date. Aztec Teal, yeah, let me see if I can pull it up. Aztec Teal, MTB keys, HB60. I will find it for you. Is it in stock? Oh, it is. Guys, this board is in stock right now, guys. One left. If any of you guys want to pull the trigger on this, now you're going to have to race for it. I'm telling you guys, I don't know how people aren't running to the top of the mountains, preaching the good word of the HB60. It's crazy. How is that not happening? Wild. Actually wild. Cerakote off in photographs weird. I think I've just also made it worse because it's HHKB. I don't know what to tell you. Is there, let me see, is there, I wonder if they did HB60s in non-HHKB. I guess not. Or at least the in-stock ones. Did they ever do HB60 in WinKey? Or WinKeyless? Maybe not. Wait, they have done this. I found someone's random, some random person's yeah, okay, all the non-HHKB are gone. That makes way more sense because I found like they have like corner cutouts on the plates, and I found someone's WinKey version of this. Great board. Great board. Telling you guys. Telling you guys. I don't know if you guys get the sense, but I think Alice boards, like just any Alice board, just sounds like a little bit different from keyboards and other layouts. Do you guys get that sense? Or is it just me? They definitely sound different than 60%, like among the Alice boards that I've used. What I think is interesting is that like the HB60 kind of approaches that type of sound. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy in saying all that. Feel free to criticize that perspective. All right, this is our Skeleton 60. I'm waiting my first Alice style board. Nice. This is our Skeleton 60. You know, that board that I've really hated. What I find to be a pretty large disaster. So, for some perspective here, the Skeleton 60 was run by a fellow named Oko, who's done a few other boards. What I recently heard was that he might have silenced his Discord because I think he was getting a lot of heat or something. I think it was the first time I came to your channel. Oh. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, this was a big disaster of a board, in my opinion. I think other people might have had more success with theirs compared to mine, but mine was a disaster. Yeah, this one had the fucked up screws. So the idea was that like they sent me over the board. I tried screwing in the plate into the top, and it's like you get it spinning infinitely. So it was stripped, and so I was just like, fuck, what the fuck happened? So I went and complained. They actually sent me a whole new case. bottom and top, but they didn't send a weight with the second one, so it's just like a weirdly empty looking case. I tried doing the same thing, infinite spins. I'm pretty sure they sent me the wrong screws. It was fucked up. Like, why would they do that? Second of all, and this is weird, while I thought that the weight finish was kind of cool, it was not what they promised. I don't know what finish that was, because it's just like, it's a brass weight that was like coated in black. They promised a sandblasted weight. It wasn't. Like, I was just like, what is this right now, really? My Alice board has keycap clearance issues, Sag. I see. Is it purple? Wait, what is it? Bear 65 V2? Wait, is that known to have that specific problem? So I was running a few different keycaps on this. I think for a while I was putting on the cherry simple PBT from KBD fans, like a black on white set. I got a little tired of it. It was actually up for giveaway for the build-a-thon, or sorry, the subathon. And I think maybe it was Big B Ken who won it. So I decided to mount this GMK Honey on it. I had GMK Honey on the Z60 once upon a time. It was like, it did not look good, but it actually does look quite a bit better on an E-whiteboard. So now I have a moderate or a modest amount more of respect for this board than before, just because it gives me a new reappreciation of GMK Honey, given how bad it looked on the Z60. One of the things, another thing too, is that now I have two cases, one of them weightless, but usable. The problem is I only bought one PCB. Like, that is stupid. I should have bought another PCB, but I only bought one. And I have 3 plates. Speaking of Alice boards, have you or anyone here seen the WITF Alice? I have not. What is that? Akko Alice Pro? Ah. Oh, I see. Oh, okay, got it. Okay, I switched this up. Sinvec is waiting on his first Alice board in his purple, and that's the Bear 65 V2. I see. Okay. I'll go Alice Pro. I see. Got it. Okay. Now let's move on from this one. Is this the right one? Excuse me. Oh, damn it. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this. 26, okay. Sometimes it's like I had this whole stretch where I just kept taking photos of keyboards at the same angle, so it's hard to tell where I am on the list here. But I think the previous is gonna get effed up now that I've hit that brief uncrop preview button. Okay, not bad. Oh, so this is our walnut tofu. Seen it, yes. Interested, no. The IC is super shady. The kit is only 16. There are a lot of really sketchy notes on things. Also, it's backwards. XT columns don't make sense on the same side of your mouse, so really it's only good for left-hander. Oh. Interesting. Who's the kid? All right, so this is my walnut tofu with the bamboo plates, the brown Alps switches, and DCS 9009 Alps base. Okay, side note here. I'm gonna switch this real quick because I have to pull up some Discord photos that I took, but I don't want to dox anything on my Discord here. The designer of the board is a 16-year-old kid. Who is it? Is it like a famous kid? Is he famous? What's the kid's name? What's his like username? All right, real quick, so I gotta show this. I'm gonna hide all my Discord servers, or I guess I could collapse them. All right, do I have any docs? Someone crossed it the other day and was more like, goddamn, looking at it. I thought it was a really interesting and unique board, albeit definitely not for anyone. Interesting to know in the context. I was not aware of that. Heard Alice and thought of it. I see. I'm not saying a 16-year-old can't make a good board, but there are these weird disclaimers on things. Oh. Okay, real quick. So I want to show this for y'all. I'll still hide this. Okay. I sent this over. This is kind of messed up looking. All right, let me just open up all of these pictures. Okay, this is the board. I took this on my phone because I sent this over to the designer of the key sets Discord, which is Ball's House. And then also I sent this over to Canon Keys, who was the North American vendor, and I guess the one closest to running the production for it. Take a look at this quote key. It's just so much thicker than everything else. And on top of that, like, I think this is thicker here on the Alps kit versus the MX kit. So if I pull up like one of the MX kits, you could just kind of tell, like, it's not even as thick. Look at this. This is someone's MX kit. Very gamer looking, right? But this is like, it's thicker than the rest of the keys, but it's not even as thick as the Alps version. This Alps version is so thick, it looks like a mistake. It was super bold. And so I sent out this kind of complaint to Canon Keys, kind of. They asked, so there's a couple issues with this set, and so they sent out a message. They sent out multiple messages on things they were remediating with the sets with Signature Plastics. And I responded to one of these like big announcements too. Like I responded to the email and it's like sent to support. I said, hey, is there going to be any remediation for this whole situation? And they're like, can you send some pictures? So I wrote this long-winded email saying like, yeah, this is like so much thicker than everything else. It's thicker than the MX version, blah, blah, blah. And then I uncovered something, which was that DCS Alps Yuri, which was run by Drop in 2019, they used like a totally different legend design here. And like, it looks like it matches better. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about like the placement. I think this should be lower and this should maybe be a little bit higher. But this looks like, at least like it makes sense. And then I looked it up and I think like old Wise keyboards. 1 second. There are these old like Wise terminal keyboards. They don't even use the thing that Yuri had, which is kind of weird. Tool size large. So, granted, this is back in MX. Oh, fuck. This is not even what I wanted to show. Damn it. Oh, interesting. I haven't seen this before. There's like a Geek Hack post on this, I think. Let's read through this. I'm looking for some examples real quick. Pardon the interruption here. Maybe this one might be worth looking at. Okay, let's take a look and see. All right, so here is a very, very yellowed Wise terminal keyboard. If you take a look at that, this matches that DCS 9009 sort of design, but I think that kind of matches with what's here on this photo. It kind of matches, right? Oh, not this. Yeah, it kind of matches, and that's fair. I just think the Alps version is even thicker. It's like kind of goofy. Kind of silly looking. You're gonna make some vintage hosers flustered with that stepped caps lock, teasing that board like that. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so here's another couple interesting things that I've came across. There's this image on Imager here, which I guess is linked out from this Geek Hack post from last May. I've never seen this before. Found keycap switch tops have contact and press down even south position. Bad feeling neutralizes. Silence switches. Keycaps are not universal. And overall quality not reached Cherry OG. So he's showing different eras of DCS. Like this Gorton. I think Gorton is the name of the font, the typeface used. Where letter-wise, like the actual letters, they kind of look consistent, but ligatures get totally different here between like the actual punctuation symbols. Obviously, this looks like a different, like an ISO key from a 94, like Wise terminal board. But if you compare from 20 to 89, for example, different look from 84, but also different look from, you know, this 2019 version of this too. Pretty weird. So anyways, I sent this whole complaint to him. There's that too. Yeah, this one's like more of like a back tick apostrophe, so it's like a different design. All right, anyways. Close that. All right. That was the board. The Walnut Tofu DCS 9009 issues that we've sort of discovered there. Okay. Moving right along. The walnut, good aesthetic though. I like the board. This is the aesthetic I was like waiting for so long though. That's all I had to say. Brown Alps. For you guys who haven't tried Brown Alps, Brown Alps is great. Probably one of my favorite switches. Alps version looks like the first shot wasn't solidified enough in time for the second shot if it's double shot. It is. Looks bloated because it was still liquidy or the molds were worn or something and bled into the white more. I see. That's kind of what it looked like. I don't know if like bleed is how that works. I don't know really fully what the double shot process is supposed to like look like, but yeah, it's a weird situation. So I've made my formal complaint, and let's see if it'll get resolved there. All right, Brutal 60. Very highly scuffed board that we've talked about numerous times on this stream, that I ended up getting for free because of how scuffed it was. Guy actually refunded me on the aftermarket, refunded me full cost, told me to keep the board because it's like, can't really fix it. But a huge scuff right there on that corner, which fortunately isn't really shown here because of, you know, how this photo looks on film here. And then a huge problem on the back side where a screw is held captive. The actual screws that were used also weren't even matching. It was just a whole weird situation. So I threw on DSA Dolce on here because I hate DSA. And so it's like a cool looking board. I like how DSA looks, but I hate how it feels. And now I only ever have to see it when I just pull it out and look at it. And I never have to actually use it. What did you do with this board again? Gave it away, hide it like some unloved child. Pretty much hidden. But at least it kind of looks nice-ish. Scuffed sale, but you know, at the end of the day, it's what it is. All right, what is this? This is not the bowl again, is it? Ah, this is our, oh, that came in super underexposed. I probably should have metered to the blue here. This is supposed to be the light, quote unquote, light navy midway, completely underexposed. So I mean, I need to shoot it again at some point, but it's probably not going to be before I build it. So, yes, I have two midways. My goal is to eventually move one of them when I find another board that would have the same color as either one of them. I think both colors are super interesting between the light navy, which really does not show. Really, justice is not given by this photo because I metered to the brass weight instead of the case. But the obsidian LE also a really nice color too. So whenever I find a board in either one of those colors, I'll move the midway. Two midways, does that make an all the way? Ooh. Oof. All right, Duck Poker. We saw this earlier today too. Cool weight design here. They just put seven circular weights, and you can't even see them from the other side. But a fun, cool looking board, and at least this didn't get exposed super terribly, and you can still make out like the interestingness of the board, even though again, not exposed perfectly, but not exposed like the worst thing in the world, aka this midway shot that does not do the blue any justice whatsoever. Next one up is going to be our first duplicate board shot in a row, which is the back side of the Duck Poker, which has that card suit engraving. Again, we talked about it earlier, but for anyone who's just tuned in, hasn't heard me talk about it yet, this is a Korean custom from a long time ago. Basically a custom tray. First forays, I think, into custom boards, even if it was just a pretty simple tray. It's a kind of cool thing. Relic of the past. So we'll build with that soon. And we got the interesting plate design that we're gonna end up cutting for that, and we'll see how it goes. Gonna pop off for the night. Thanks for chatting, and thanks for streaming. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks everybody for chatting, and McJizzle, thanks for being here as usual. All right, another HHKB. This time a Pro Hybrid in black with legend, like printed legends. I believe this is a non-Type S, and again, intent is to use the internals here, like harvest out the internals and then use it in aftermarket topiary housing, a few of which that I have on the way. Just FYI, spoiler, S60 coming soon. That's I think a Pro 2 housing, so that one's actually on its way here. All right, and then another HHKB Pro 2. I think this is a Type S Pro 2. Yeah, I bought it recently. Again, eventually we'll want to use these for internals for another future Pro 2, which is likely going to be an Avia. Avia is going to be a long while out, though. Oh, guys, Zero. I think Zero was especially amused by this one. But maybe a lot of you guys were. This is the Sangyo 60 where I used the wrong PCB. I accidentally used a connectorless PCB, and so I had to put in a JST connector, JST cable, and a daughter board external to this. We are going to build this eventually. This was supposed to be a USB connector board, the Sangyo 60. Very stupid. But it also, on top of that, is using a 313 bottom row, which I personally love the look of and have loved it for so long with, and plugged it for so long, shilled it like crazy without ever having tried it. And then when I finally tried it, I hated how it felt. These are OG cherry die subs, but it was an ISO layout. So this also then is using GMK missing keys, a group buy that was run several years ago to accommodate for these sort of ISO layout, like OG cherry double shots and die subs. So I love how it looks, man. I love it, but I just hate how it feels. I really wished I did. It would solve so many stabilizer rattling issues, because I feel like rattling issues always come up with like longer space bars. Fan of split space. Theoretically, I mean, I love like Alice boards, provided that they are HHKB Alice boards, which is only like one right now. I love the idea of it, but again, I didn't like how it felt because I'm a right thumb spacebar user. So when you guys can look at my, like this overhead right here. Right here, my thumb is always going to be in the center. So it's like my thumb is now hitting the 1U. That's not what I wanted at all. My target for hitting that 1U is like so much smaller now than it was before. I think maybe one thing that might be worthwhile. We're not seeing cam. Oh, it should be this overhead. Yeah, it is. It is on the left side, just very small. Okay. One thing that's worthwhile is to maybe consider not putting an artist in there in the center, and then maybe it won't feel as weird. But I don't know. One thing that's interesting is that hopefully there's going to be a point where there's more 313 style PCBs, which will become interesting to seeing how those implementations will look, because there's 4 stabilizer points now, right? This outer one gets to share with 7U, which is cool because now I can just use 7U even on when 313 has now failed me. The other option would be these inner stabilizers also can exactly formulate a 3U itself, and then you'll have 2 1Us here. So it's just a matter of time before someone tries to put out a PCB that'll be 1, 1.5, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 1.5, 1. So I'm curious to see if anyone will ever actually do that. I tried bothering the SNOP 60 designer to see if he would do that, and he said while it is possible, like in terms of like the general shape allowing for it, he said that would kind of ruin his trace design, so he's not going to work around that, at least for now. So we'll see if anyone else does this. No, this is wrong. 313, 10U or bust. I think you run less risk. Personally, like what I find is that you run less risk of stabilizer rattling, just like the less that there's risk of your stabilizer bending out of control and not being fully balanced. So this is why I like the concept of a 3U spacebar. I love the idea of it. But I make the middle and left spacebars space FN, so they'll still make space if I hit the wrong key. Yeah, but it's just like, even in this case, if I make all of them space, it just still doesn't feel right. Just given, like, the feeling is what's important. The feeling, the muscle memory, everything is important, but if it doesn't feel right, it's not right to me, in my opinion. All right. I'm going to move right along here. Sango 60, this was also another thing to mention here. This is the other board that's like a pour-on gasket mount, but I feel the jitter in it. And again, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm the only guy who feels it, but the Midway gives some jitter. The Sango 60 gives some jitter. And I have at least one other board that gives jitter, but I forget which one it is. I got to find out. All right, next one up. This is a Ramakara with cherry whites. I just needed to take another picture of it. I don't know if there's a whole lot we could talk about with the Ramakara. I put in a separate backplate for it, which is purple, and so this is the Soya one. It looked really good with VOC two-tone. I usually like my boards like, you know, like all one color, like white on some color between both alphas and mods, but the two-tone was really particularly acceptable here because of, I thought it looked really cool with the Soya and then the purple backplate. MX whites, these are like cherry blues, but cherry whites, like, I think they have like a little bit of lubricant in them to make the click less annoying, but there's still a light click. Does jitter mean that the plate is moving? I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it's a feeling I get where it's just like, it feels almost like when I'm typing on it, like, it's like, I don't know. It's like vibrating. There's like a vibration, like, of the assembly, and it's a weird feeling. I don't like it. What I'll usually do is I'll run the board, like I'll drive the board for a couple days, and then I just kind of forget about it. But it's always like really jarring to like go back to it. I'm like, ugh, the jitter. Yeah, there's like a reverb. Like, it's not the switches feeling loose. It's like, it's literally like the whole assembly is vibrating at my fingertips. So I don't think anyone has ever verbalized this sensation. So it might just be a me thing. But I'm just explaining, you guys. That's the feeling I get out of about 3 keyboards that I own. Does it feel like haptic feedback on your phone screen? Kind of. Would you say the Rama thermal has jitter? I don't have a thermal. I need to get a thermal. My thermal, so I have one in group buy. It's a Soya thermal. They haven't finished it yet. I don't know. You know, I think we have sometimes that issue. I have that feeling sometimes with FR4 and I kind of like it. Oh, you actually like it. Okay. I don't know that I felt that with FR4 specifically. I'll have to find my boards that run FR4. And I'll let you know if I remember during the end of the rest of the stream. We have like less than 30 minutes left, so we're only going to just do this one. I talk too much. We're only just going to do this one roll. We're almost done here. This is the last one of the roll coming up here. This is the Prophet. I've struggled to get good pictures of the Prophet, so here's just another one. But we're going to do a Prophet rebuild at some point. I guarantee it. We're going to do a Prophet rebuild at some point. W1 with 1.2 has that haptic feel. Plateless and very flexy alu plates have the haptic feedback feel. It's still contingent on the mounting. Like, for example, like I don't have the jitter when I use like an old plateless like Cherry G80. Like I don't feel the jitter in that respect. But I haven't done a whole lot of plateless builds. I've done a plateless in a tray. Yeah, I haven't done. I'd have to see. I'd have to see more plateless builds to really know. And I'll let you guys know. I can't think of what the third one was. Actually, shit. It might have been the fucking Prophet. Just as I'm looking at it, I think it was the Prophet. The Prophet makes me feel that too, which is like it's like a pin mount. Okay. Here's the situation. I don't know if he's ever gonna see this, and I don't know the next time I'm gonna specifically talk to him about it, and I don't. Calling out is not the right phrase, but so I bought my Prophet from Gym Leader Nathan, and I think he said that this was a polypropylene plate. I don't actually think it's a polypropylene plate. Not that I'm mad. I just don't think that's what it is. I think it's a palm plate. Anyways, this Prophet that uses this palm plate, it's got this they call it the bottom, like the pin mount, where it's like they're pinned to the bottom. V1 was nylon. It's a white plate. I don't know what it is, but it looks and feels like palm, and it just like, but I don't know what it is. Jim sold you his PP and did not deliver. Look, I don't know what it is. I just don't think it's polypropylene because I have another board that uses a polypropylene plate and it like does not look or feel like this at all. So I'm not 100% sure. Maybe the other one I have. Maybe it's the Oxara that's to the left of me. I understand that to be polypropylene, but maybe that's not polypropylene. Maybe this one is. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know any of these materials. What I know is I bought all of these like secondhand, like aftermarket. So I'll never know. But in any case, now that I'm recalling now, it was these three boards. These three boards, it was the Prophet, it was the Sangyo 60, and then it was the Midway. All of these have different mounts, and all of these I feel this weird jitter whenever like I come back to it the first time, and I actually hate it. Take that what you will, as you will. I don't really know what to say other than that. I feel a jitter. All right, here's the next photo, another HHKB. Next photo, another HHKB. Next photo, HHKB. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Actually, there's one keyboard here that's not an HHKB. Actually, two. It's this Litster TKL, and then it's this Filco TKL. So not all HHKBs, just like 95% HHKBs. If you press a key and hit space and gives that jitter feel on those mounts, no, it's just like literally like right in the center. When I'm on the home row, ASDF, JKL, semicolon, feel the jitter. Like, and again, it might be a me problem how I'm verbalizing it. And it might be a me problem conceptually that I might be the only one feeling this or making this up. You know? It might be. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure if Cognitive Wanderer or anybody else here on stream is thinking the same thing I'm thinking of. But it's the feeling that I get when I try these 3 boards, and I don't really like it that much. Okay, guys. We're about 20 minutes away from the 6-hour mark. And I only did exactly 1 roll. Fortunately for all you keyboard guys in here, it was the roll that had keyboard stuff in it. And the only roll that had keyboard stuff on it. I had like 7 more rolls to go through, which I guess I'll do tomorrow, maybe off stream. Possibly, I don't know. Or I could run this next week. It's just gonna be having, like, I try to do the film like soon-ish. Because I don't want this to like collect all this dust. Jitter is a pretty good description. I feel like in my mind, jitter is a negative connotation, which is how I would characterize it. But kind of wonder if you don't mind it, or if in fact anybody out there knows what this is and likes it, then jitter is not the right word, because I don't think jitter is a good positive connotation. I think it's jitter. Okay, so those are my scans. We're not even gonna get an opportunity to do like recrops or recolors on a lot of these, because we're getting to the end here. I don't think it's negative, but I do. Send me the board to find out. All right. Okay, guys. Again, closing in. We're just gonna wrap this up here. 5:40 in, so let's do this. All right. Marbles giveaway, guys. Marbles giveaway for a Kawaii Drake sticker. So if you guys are interested, I will get set up for this marbles race. Yeah. You're just feeling the vibrations of other keys getting pressed. Okay. All right. Vote for your favorite map, your favorite number from 1 to 62. Is that like too much to ping the Discord? I want to do this for the subs. All right, I'll do at here in the sub only channel. Alrighty. Okay. I at here. That way I'm not bothering all these people who are asleep. Alright, looks like we're doing 7. What time is it? Almost 2? Alright. I'm not mad at this being so late. Alright, we'll do a 3-minute timer. Let those lurkers and laggers come right on in. Guys, if you are interested in a marbles race giveaway for a brand new Kawaii Drake emote sticker, join right on in. Follow if you so please. I realize, fuck, I keep forgetting to turn followers only off between giveaways. Mods, all Hex, Frank, Insty, if you're out there, anybody who's out there who's a mod, just turn followers only off after every giveaway, because I always forget. And turn it off if you remember. Thank you for the stream, Chris. Appreciate that. Well, you guys got good chances to win this. Yeah. I like letting people who don't follow chat. But I want the giveaways to be for people who follow, if that's fair. So that you can't like hit exclamation play without being a follower. Yeah. I wished that when you had an active race in marbles that it would know to change, like to toggle between followers only and not. I wished it would do that. Massage balls. Ugh. Doesn't make sense on this plush back, but I do kind of feel it. Join the cult to get stuff. Check. Yes. Also, announcement I made a little bit earlier in case anyone didn't hear it. I will now only ping the Twitch subs on Discord for giveaways instead of everyone or here. Don't massage balls on stream, TOS. Yeah, I used to @ here or in some cases @ everyone when I had like a big giveaway, but I'm now changing that to a sub only perk. So link your Twitches to your Discord if you'd like to be notified for giveaways and are subbed. Oh, Cognitive Wander, by the way, thank you for the follow. I know that was quite a bit ago. Guys, we got 20 seconds left to join. Guys, you 4 of you guys got really good opportunities here to win. Exclamation play to join if you haven't already. Game is a sub only channel for subs. I did. What I was mentioning is that like yeah, that's my choice now. Is to ping the sub only channel for giveaways. That way everyone can join the Discord. You just have to be here on the stream if you're not subbed. Yes. But prior to me coming up with this perk, I just used to do that to everyone. Or here. Alright, Zero, Frank, all Hex, all in line here. I guess you guys are the only ones who really want this Kawaii Drake sticker. Ooh, Zero in the lead here. Looking real good. Looking real good. Oh, there are propeller sections, so that could slow everyone up. All right, just an FYI, after this stream, I haven't mailed anything out yet. And part of me was waiting to just sort of show and announce these Kawaii Drake stickers because we were supposed to have them for the subathon. But I'm going to work on those in the coming week, just getting all these packages out. And just an FYI, for anyone whose package I haven't already sent out, if you, I'll drop in Kawaii Drake stickers for all the subathon winners. On top of that, if you happen to have a sticker only, like outstanding package to be shipped, then I'll pop in a couple other stickers, just in terms of random other stickers I have from vendors, brands. Hey, I may also drop in an extra stream sticker too, just as an FYI. Oh my goodness, is it all Hex? All Hex with the win. Kawaii Drake sticker, do you claim? Hard claim. Hell yeah. Congratulations, All Hex. Kawaii Drake sticker win. Alrighty. You can spare me from the Drake sticker. I'll survive. All right. Who is the last place finisher? How good are keyboards? would you like to choose a raid target, as is tradition here on this channel? Last place finishers of the final giveaways on streams get to choose the raid target. Are there any keyboard streamers on? And if not, is there anyone you'd like to raid? Baho? Who's Baho? Alnomic is on. I don't already follow Alnomic. That's Frank's suggestion. But who is Baho? Is that a person? It's up to our good friend How Good Are Keyboards to decide. Oh, Baho is a person who is live. Magic the Gathering. Sponsored stream. What? I don't mind if I was streaming keyboards. Oh, okay. Alright, should we do Alnomic? Alright, let's do Alnomic. Fortunately, I got through that ad. Okay. Alright, we'll raid Alnomic. Alright, I will be back next week. Raid Amaranth. Amaranth, she's struggling for viewers. That's what I always say, man. That's what I always say. Okay. We'll raid Alnomic. Appreciate you guys. I will be back next week. If I haven't finished tuning these vintage brown switches, that's probably what we'll do next. Also a chance that if I haven't finished this film by then, also could be what I do next. It's going to be one of those two things. If those are both complete, just letting you guys know, the next build I'll be doing is the brass, excuse me, all brass PP60. So, guys, until next time, appreciate it. Oh, send Alnomic some love if you guys are subbed. Here's the raid message. If you're not subbed, here's the other raid message. All right. We'll stream Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or something. Peace, guys.